So, what does it really mean to be an expert? We have this picture in our heads of someone who's just flawless, someone who never misses. But what if mastery isn't about perfection at all? Let's dig into a totally different way of looking at it, a way that's all about cultivating expertise like a garden.
Right there. That idea is a complete game changer. See, expertise isn't about the absence of screw ups. It's about having a system to recover, to learn, and to grow from them. It's about building the discipline to handle the inevitable stumbles along the way.
This isn't a new problem. The Stoic philosopher Seneca warned us about this literally centuries ago. He said we just waste our lives on pointless stuff. Silly drama, social media, chasing things that don't matter. And we don't even realize what we're losing. It's not one big catastrophic mistake. No, it's more like death by 1,000 paper cuts. A slow, steady bleeding of our most valuable resource, our focus.
And that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If we're accidentally letting our potential just drain away on things that don't move the needle, how do we stop it? How do we patch that leak and redirect all that energy toward what actually does matter? Well, that's exactly what we're about to break down, step by step. Okay, so first things first, we have to clear the ground. It's just like a garden, right? You can't grow beautiful flowers if the soil is just choked with weeds. This first step is all about making space by being absolutely ruthless and eliminating what's not essential.
This right here, this is the battle we fight every single day. On one side, you've got all the stuff that screams for our attention, the emails, the notifications, the drama. Those are the weeds. And on the other side, the quiet, focused work that actually builds real skill. The expert learns to live on the side of what actually matters.
So here's the key takeaway. Learning to say no is a strategic superpower. No to that meeting that could have been an email. No to getting sucked into gossip. No to things that don't line up with your real goals. Because every single no you say to the junk is a powerful yes to deep work, to real growth, and to building the life you actually want. But, and this is a huge but, as the legendary coach Bill Walsh knew, just getting rid of the bad stuff isn't enough. Pulling weeds creates empty space, sure, but an empty garden is sterile. You have to actively cultivate what you want to grow there instead. All right, so we've cleared the ground. Now it's time to actually plant and nurture. This isn't about passively consuming information. This is about the active, disciplined, deliberate cultivation of wisdom and skill. The Stoics had this incredible technique for this. They called it the discipline of return. The idea is simple. You don't just read a great book once and check it off the list. True understanding comes from going back to the core ideas again and again and again, until they're not just something you know in your head. They become part of your philosophical muscle memory. Seneca gave us this really simple 3-step playbook. First, don't try to read everything. Pick a handful of masters. Second, really linger with their best work. And third, digest it. Don't just skim it, absorb it until it becomes part of your mental DNA. Marcus Aurelius had this incredible metaphor to explain the goal here. Think about it. A fencer's skill is in their sword. Take the sword away and they're vulnerable. But a boxer, their weapon is their fist. It's always with them. The goal is to integrate your knowledge so deeply that you become the boxer, ready to act on what you know, anytime, anywhere. And that's exactly why returning to the fundamentals isn't a step back. It's a strategic recalibration. It's like cleaning your glasses so you can see more clearly. It reminds you of your core principles, and it makes you way more prepared for whatever is coming next. So we've pulled the weeds, and we are watering the flowers. Now it's time to build the trellis, the greenhouse, the whole system that makes growth almost inevitable, that protects your progress from the storms that will definitely come. Wow, this quote from NBA star Bam Adebayo is just a masterpiece. It goes way beyond that old cliche about planning. He shows us that preparation is an active, creative force. It's progressive programming that actually plants these positive traits inside you. And just look at what a good system yields. It's not just about avoiding failure. It actively creates power, poise, and this incredible ability to predict what's coming. It builds patience, peace under pressure. This is the real fruit of a well-built system. And the legendary coach John Wooden just brings it all home. Sure, talent might get you a lucky break, but it's character, forged through that disciplined, systematic practice that lets you sustain excellence. The system builds the character that keeps you at the top. Okay, this brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial layer of it all, the daily inner work. I mean, you can have the most beautiful garden and the best tools in the world, but if you don't show up every day to tend to it, it is all going to fall apart. This is all about self-accountability.
Just stop and think about that for a second. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world at the time, was asking himself this question in his private journal. He knew that if he didn't hold himself accountable, nobody else was going to. And that's the hard question we have to ask ourselves, because no one is going to ask it for us.
You know, George Orwell said that just seeing what's right in front of you is a constant struggle, especially when things are chaotic. And his solution was the exact same as the Stoics. Keep a diary. A journal is the tool you use for that self-interrogation, for keeping your head straight when the world is trying to confuse you.
So how do you do this without getting totally overwhelmed? Well, the secret is to start small, ridiculously small. Set a low, achievable bar. Pick a few simple, fundamental drills, like, say, writing just 3 sentences in a journal, and then execute them with ferocious consistency and excellence.
And in the end, this is the ultimate truth of the expert's garden. It all comes down to this one simple, profound idea. Your life, your skills, your character, they're just the sum total of your daily practices. So are you practicing distraction or are you practicing mastery? Because what you do every single day is who you become.
So the final question isn't about some huge 5-year plan. It's about right now, in the garden of your life, what one weed will you pull and what one flower will you water today?